What's up, guys? It is Sam here, and today I wanted to show you exactly how I make my thumbnails better and what you can do. I'm going to show you step by step exactly what I do to make my thumbnails better and how I make them, looking at the data to make my thumbnails better. So with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it's good to freaking see you. You better be pressing that thumbs up button. Come on, bro, it's your second time. Okay. YouTube thumbnails, how trying to make them better, right? Like, how do you always progress? Like your ability to tell a story, you want to be able to progress there. Your ability to articulate a message, you want that to be able to improve as well. But all the details, every single minute detail, you also want to get to improve. And one of the things that is super easy, low-hanging fruit to increase the number of views on a channel is increasing the click-through rate on the thumbnail. So I'm just going to jump over to my analytics here and show you the total number of people who have checked out my channel. So this is the YouTube analytics. If you look, 750,000 over the past 28 days. So basically, 750,000 people have at least seen my content when they pulled out their phone and they're scrolling through. Right? It's come across it's been presented to them. Now, we see here that the conversion on the channel over the last 28 days is 5.6. That's right here, 5.6. So this is the number of people, and it looks like it's been coming down, which has inspired me to start focusing more on this because it's such low-hanging fruit here. And what this is saying essentially is if you take, and we can probably do the math live right now, but if you take, say, 750,000 times, close enough, what is it, 0.056, you get 42,000 views. So basically you get 42,000 from those, and then the other 20,000 come from like Twitter and YouTube, other features of YouTube that is not tracked in here, like if it's published on another website, comes from Facebook. It comes, I don't know if I mentioned Twitter or Instagram, comes from these other places. That's where the other amount of content comes from, or directly sharing, like if somebody takes the video and then they just share it to somebody, or else, and other things. There's little nuances of this, but this is one for a giant portion, right? 2/3 of all the views over the last 28 days. You could increase this, say, if you went from 5.6 to 8.6, right? 3 percentage points, and then you have the same amount of impressions, but now you have a 8.6 conversion. You just increased your views by 50%, right? Even if you get exactly the same amount of views. That's how powerful it can be. Well, you're like, well, probably can't get to 8%. Well, we're going to get into that in a second. So now you know what the click-through is and the impact it can have. Let's take a look at what I used for the actual data here. Actually, let's start here. So what I'll do, I just filmed a video on my YouTube rankings. You can check it out on the channel if you'd like. But I'll come over to my videos. And this is just the YouTube Studio, the analytics, or the back-end portion of it. And I'll come over here and I'll be like, I kind of like this thumbnail. Let's take a look at this and see what the CTR was, the click-through ratio. So I come over here, get into my analytics, and then I go to my reach. And this is at a 5, so this is not good design, right? The thumbnail over here. Whoa. What is going on? I'm trying to zoom in and it keeps making it smaller. This thumbnail is not super great, only 5% converted. Okay, well, whoops, let's try a different one. What about the Instagram rankings video? This thumbnail looks pretty clean, right? Let's see how that one converted. So we get into the video, we get into the analytics, and then we go to the tab that says reach. And this will give us our, so this is 5.9, so the average for the channel is 5.6, so that's good. But let's see if we can find something better. So one of the ways that I also like to do is I want to see, like, I'll search. So you can search for, hopefully you guys can see this, but you can search for the videos, right? So I searched YouTube ranking because I've done this ranking before, and you could, whatever your topic is, you just apply it to your shit. And I look and I pull up this video over here that we have up in the background, but let's pull up another one to see. Let's pull up this one here. This is the national rankings video. So let me see if I can pull this up in a separate tab. So we're going to take a look at this. because this is, I want to find similar videos to see how their thumbnail converted to know if the design of the thumbnail is good. So we come over to this one, 4.2. So this one is a no-go. We'll just close that tab. But take a look at this design here. This is basically, right, I got my head in the top corner and it looks like I'm looking over at Andrew Yang or Tulsi Gabbard. I've got the YouTube logo and then I've got ranking, but I made the ranking portions like the same color as YouTube. I have their names kind of descending down across it with the size being the number 1 being the biggest, the number Andrew Yang's picture and the actual number being the biggest over there and getting progressively smaller as you go down to Joe Biden. And then there's just a circle that has Joe Biden, a circle that says vote in there. But the conversion on it is 8.7. So what do I do when I actually design my thumbnail? So what I do is I generally, 99.9% of the time I use Google Sheets. It's free, so it also saves the documents for free. If you use like their products, just like if you were using Microsoft's, I have no idea how Microsoft's works, but Google's is way easier in my opinion, just because I'm used to it. And I use this, and you can just copy and paste stuff in here. You can come over here, you can add, like, say if we're going to add a picture, Andrew Yang, you just search for the picture. You can add him over here. You can, I'm not going to pull it up, but you can pull up Google Photos, and you can add photos from your library. So if you're like, hey, I want to use this, right? So you take a selfie or whatever it is that you want to use on your thumbnail, you can take this. You can add it in here to your Google Sheets. Sam, get to the point. Well, what I'll do is every single month, and then I save every video as a different thumbnail, right? So this thumbnail is one, this thumbnail is one, this is thumbnail. This way I get the video saved by thumbnail so that I get to see and iterate on the design of the thumbnail to improve, right? So these top 3 ones that I just released over here on the left, like maybe I want to redo that design completely, or maybe I want to take that design and maybe change it to some degree to see if I can increase the conversion on it. So, and I put all the videos that I do in a month in one of these sheets. And then every month I basically start a new Google Sheet, because sometimes after a while it takes a little bit of time for it to load. And because it takes a lot, there's like, what, in this one there's 35 slides. So then I'll come through and I'll just find the one that I wanted that was converting very well. It was something like this. I don't remember which one it was, but it was something like this, and I'll just take this and I'll copy everything in here over to here. And now that I know what this design right here is working, right? This design, just assume it's the YouTube ranking one. When I actually make the video, I'm gonna use that exact design. So we'll just assume, because I don't know where it is, but we'll just assume that this is the exact design for that YouTube video. Oh, here it is. So this video here, I'm just gonna take this exact design, and I had a 8.7, right? So I'm gonna take this exact same design, but change the people who are in the lead here, and maybe try to make the font size for the ranking a little bit bigger, or change like one little design element to see if the next time I do this video, if I was able to increase over the 8.7, right? Because what if this is a great design, but what if I could go to like 9.2, or I've got it up as high as 15% on some. It was at 5 on, and like some of these designs, they'll go up really, really, really like high. I mean, so if I can take the same design and change like a little element, maybe I can make the vote oblong or something. Or another thing you can do to make things stand out more is so I'll copy and paste this, and then I will take this and I'll crop in the vote portion here to see if, like, I wonder if I put this here and I make this just a little bit bigger, and the word vote, I wonder if it will pop out more on the screen when somebody's scrolling through and be maybe more impactful, right? You don't have to do like crazy shit. You can just change very, 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 very subtle things like that to see if you can make an impact. Or maybe the ranking word over here, whoops, I don't know if my head's in the way on this one. Drop this a little bit smaller. The ranking word, right? I designed it to be like similar to YouTube, but I could do better. Maybe instead of having the corners be square, maybe I should try to do more of exact same design as YouTube, and maybe make the R here capital, right? And then I'll have to change the font size to make it fit, because maybe that'll make it pop more. Maybe I can increase that to 12 or 14 or 16%. And so this is how and this is brand new, like I'm just starting to do more of this over this past week, but I thought it would be valuable because I think this could be super valuable to somebody else who's a YouTube creator or wants to iterate on something to make it better and better. So if you found value in this video, share this video with somebody else who has a YouTube channel or something else and they're trying to improve on how they do their thumbnails. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions, jump over to Instagram. TikTok is blowing up. I talk about a lot of Tesla stuff over on TikTok if you're interested in that, and I'll talk to you later. Peace. Or there's another YouTube channel too in the description. I talk about supplements and drugs.